Welcome back, everyone, to another explainer. Today, we're taking an absolutely fascinating journey. We're going to bridge that gap between cutting-edge longevity science and the actual actionable hacks that you can use in your kitchen right now. So get ready to completely transform how you think about your food, your prep time, and ultimately your lifespan. Okay, let's dive into this. It's the ultimate question, isn't it? What is the actual secret to living past 100? I mean, for decades, humanity has been searching for this elusive fountain of youth. We kind of just assume that living a really long, healthy life without chronic disease is basically a genetic lottery ticket, right? Like you're either born with it or you're not. But what if I told you the secret to a century-long life is largely sitting right there in your local produce aisle? Here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. First, the secret to longevity. Then plants and chronic disease. After that, we'll hit quick and easy prep, mastering produce storage, and finally, building your best plate. We're going to cover the massive science first, and I promise to reward you with some highly practical life hacks by the end. So, part one, the secret to longevity. Let's talk about how much control we actually have over our lifespan versus our genetics. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the data from the famous Danish twin study. It turns out only about 20% of the average person's lifespan is dictated by genetics. Just 20%. Think about that for a second. That means a staggering 80% of how long and how well you live is driven by your environment and your lifestyle. You literally hold the vast majority of the cards here. And the absolute biggest card you can play? Well, that's what you choose to put on your plate every single day. To really see this in action, we have to look at the blue zones. These are regions around the world where people just consistently live the longest, healthiest lives. Take Okinawa, Japan, for example. Their traditional diet is heavily plant-based. They get over half their daily calories just from sweet potatoes, along with lots of green and yellow veggies. Then over in Loma Linda, California, the Seventh-day Adventist community there totally thrives on tomatoes, legumes, and nuts. And in Sardinia, Italy, their extraordinary longevity is fueled by eating fava beans and chickpeas pretty much every day. The common denominator here is clear. They eat plant-predominant, whole food diets. Which brings us to section 2, plants and chronic disease. Let's look at the hard science of exactly how these plants actually protect our bodies from deadly diseases. Check this out. A massive Harvard study followed almost 110,000 men and women for 14 years, and the findings were huge. Compared to people eating very few fruits and vegetables, those who averaged 8 or more servings a day were 30% less likely to have had a heart attack or a stroke. Let that sink in, a 30% reduction in our leading causes of death, just from eating more plants. So, the crucial point is how exactly plants pull this off. It really comes down to a 3-pronged biological defense system. First up, dietary fiber. This supports your gut health and helps manage your weight and cholesterol. Second, we've got antioxidants. These guys reduce the oxidative stress that actively contributes to aging and disease. And third, phytochemicals. They step in to fight off systemic inflammation throughout your entire body. It's quite literally like having a microscopic army protecting your cells. And hey, this protection extends powerfully to your brain too. Adherence to plant-heavy eating patterns, like the MIND diet, shows some pretty incredible results. For folks with the highest adherence to this diet, Alzheimer's rates are lowered by nearly half. Nearly half. So you aren't just saving your heart here. You're actively preserving your cognitive function and protecting your memory well into your later years. Now I can totally hear some of you right now saying, okay, that's great and all, but who actually has the time to chop all that, and why does my spinach always turn to slime in exactly 3 days? It's the elephant in the room, right? The science is completely undeniable, but the practical, everyday execution? Yeah, that's hard. So let's fix it right now with some fast-paced kitchen hacks. That brings us to section 3, quick and easy prep. We're going to solve this time crunch problem once and for all. First off, we need to completely stop thinking that eating vegetables requires an hour of peeling and chopping. We've got to embrace what we call zero prep foods. Think baby carrots, cherry tomatoes, and pre-washed salad mixes. You just open the container and you eat them. It is honestly that simple. And when you do have just a couple of extra minutes, lean into the ED prep options. Things like asparagus, bell peppers, and cucumbers. They have soft skins, require absolutely no peeling, and you can get them chopped and ready to cook or eat in under 60 seconds. And please, whatever you do, do not fear the freezer. Frozen veggies are absolute magic for a busy lifestyle. They stay viable significantly longer, which means you drastically reduce all that accidental food waste. Plus, here's the best part, they are frozen at their absolute freshest state. That means there is zero nutritional compromise. Having some affordable frozen broccoli or peas on hand might literally be the difference between a healthy meal and ordering takeout on a super stressful Tuesday night. Let's jump into Section 4, Mastering Produce Storage. It's time to solve the second massive problem we all face, keeping that fresh produce from rotting on your kitchen counter. And this brilliantly illustrates the real science to storage. This comprehensive, science-backed chart from the University of Maine just proves it. Fruits and vegetables require entirely different environments. Some of them really like it cool and humid, while others absolutely need it dry and at room temperature. The good news is you don't have to guess anymore. There are specific rules you can follow to stretch your produce and your grocery dollars. Okay, let's do a rapid-fire storage showdown so you know exactly where to put your groceries the second you get home. Into the fridge, berries, leafy greens, and broccoli. They crave that cool environment. But keep these on the counter: tomatoes, bananas, and citrus fruits. Putting these specific fruits in the fridge actually disrupts their natural ripening process and completely ruins their texture. In fact, let's emphasize this one, because it is probably the most common mistake people make: the tomato rule. Never, ever put your fresh, uncut tomatoes in the refrigerator. The cold temperature breaks down their cellular structure, making them completely tasteless and mealy. Just wipe them clean, leave them right on the counter away from direct sunlight, and trust me, your future salads will thank you. Now, what about the pantry? Potatoes definitely need a cool, dry, dark place to prevent them from turning green. Onions also need a cool, dry spot away from sunlight. But here is the absolute golden rule of the pantry: never store potatoes and onions near each other. Seriously, onions emit this gas that will actually cause your potatoes to sprout and spoil incredibly fast. Keep them totally separated. All right, final section, Section 5, Building Your Best Plate. Let's bring the why and the how together for a final wrap-up. Let's move to and see how this builds together into a truly sustainable lifestyle. Step 1, choose a big variety of vibrant colors to get all those different protective phytochemicals we talked about. Step 2, store them correctly. Remember those tomato and onion rules to prevent sad, slimy waste. Step 3, don't overcomplicate things. Heavily utilize your zero prep and frozen options. And Step 4, keep building up that habit until you're aiming for those 8 or more servings a day. That's your ticket to that 30% reduction in disease risk. Which leaves us with one final question for you. What is one thing you will change about your grocery shopping or storage habits this week to add years to your life? Don't try to change the whole shebang all at once. Maybe you'll just move your tomatoes out of the fridge today, or grab a bag of frozen broccoli on your next run, or even just buy some zero prep cherry tomatoes. Pick just one thing, take action, and start building your own personal blue zone right there in your kitchen. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.